Need Pokemon Go PvP coaching? Well, I'm on Metafy, so click the link in the video description. It'll take you right to my page. What's up, guys? Got a very exciting video today. Today we have a great team for everyone. This is the BBML of Sinnoh Cup, and dare I say it, I actually created this team. So you've probably seen this team run. If you played any Sinnoh Cup, you've probably seen this team running around a lot, and I'll get into it in a little bit. First of all, huge shout out to my Patreon supporters, because I actually could not have been doing this without you guys, and I'll explain a little bit more what I'm talking about here. So every time a new cup comes out, my Patreon supporters and channel members, so if you're on the lowest tier of my Patreon supporter list, or your channel membership on YouTube, which is I'm sure there's a button below, then you get access to these exclusive meta-analysis videos. In the last meta-analysis video on Sinnoh Cup, I proposed essentially the team that you see here today. Empoleon, Drifblim, Froslass. I gave some suggestions for steel types, maybe run Magnezone, maybe run Bastion. And then as far as Drifblim and Froslass goes, you can replace either of them with Cresselia as well, or maybe even Gallade if you're feeling a little bit risky like that. But either way, this team somehow, if you look at YTX Pikachu's data analysis, these three Pokemon are the most used Pokemon in Sinnoh Cup right now. And from anecdotal experience, I've faced so many mirror matches with this team that it for sure is everywhere out there. I'd love to think that the meta-analysis video helped some of you guys find this team and kind of cause it to be such a big phenomena, or a bigger phenomena than I ever expected. So thank you guys so much for your support. I'm glad that these meta-analysis videos can help. Either way, let's get actually into the video now. Empoleon is the lead here. We're running an ABB team with Drifblim and Froslass. In my opinion, the MVP of this team has been Drifblim so far. It just feels like everything that you want to use Froslass for, you can just use Drifblim for, and it's better, like Gastrodon, Toxicroak. They just have harder counter matchups for Drifblim. So while Drifblim is listed in the safe swap slot, I kind of am swapping into Froslass in a number of these scenarios, just as the safe swap, just so Drifblim can get that good matchup at the end. Empoleon, I feel like, is better than Magnezone. So the last straw was I was using Shadow Magnezone, testing that out first, and I was losing the one shield to Empoleon, which is not a matchup you want to be losing here. So I switched to Empoleon myself. It's got a much better matchup versus Empoleon somehow, and is just much less squishy. So you still deal a huge amount of damage with the charge moves. You can still get shields down, but Magnezone, it's just too paper. It just can't take any damage. Anyways, let's get into the video. So we have an Empoleon versus Empoleon mirror match. You're going to see a lot of these because this team is very common. It looks like this time I am behind a turn. Desync, classic desync. You're going to see a lot of lag issues and stuff throughout these games. I'm going to throw my Hydro Cannon right away. Unfortunately, I don't get my move back through, even though they didn't pass move deny. So that's okay. I'm counting. I'm going to make a catch onto Drifblim. This has worked so far for me in the mirror match. I don't get my move through either on this one. So clearly my internet's not up to snuff here. They'll bring in their Froslass. And then this is a scenario where you can get a Shadow Ball off if they try and farm you down. But instead, it's likely they'll just throw the Avalanche. I'm going to come back in with the Empoleon and deal some major damage to this Froslass. Get a Hydro Cannon off right before they get to Avalanche. At this point, you don't even want to take an Avalanche on the Empoleon. They shield, which is fine. I'm going to let this go and try and get a big energy advantage with my Froslass in the back if they shield this. So I'm going to throw this Hydro Cannon, grab the last shield, bring in the Froslass, and of course going to have to shield up a Shadow Ball, but now this Froslass is in farm down range for my Froslass. And hopefully it's a Drifblim in the back, which it is. So we're going to farm up quite a bit. I'm not 100% sure. I think Avalanche KOs, but I was just playing to be safe. I know that their Empoleon's in farm down range, their Froslass is in farm down range. I just need to make sure I take out that Drifblim. So no need to play around with that. But this is how you play the mirror, in my opinion. If you just stay in, it just comes down to whichever Empoleon sneaks a move through, which is a terrible way to play it. So, or terrible way for a game to be decided, in my opinion. So Cresselia come in. This is the first time I've seen a Cresselia switch in, so I swap a little bit slow. Don't swap slow versus Cresselia. It's very important to get in there right away with Drifblim. Going to go up to the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball does not KO from here. Cresselia is an absolute monster in this cup. Yeah, it doesn't quite KO. And unfortunately, you do need to shield this if you want to live. So I'm going to shield up the Moonblast. Unfortunately, I would have loved to have more energy there, so instead I probably should have undercharged a little bit on that Shadow Ball. In this case, I go for the Icy Wind bait because I thought for sure they would shield. There's no way they're not going to with 2 shield advantage, but they didn't. So baiting kind of gets you into a rough situation. My guess is that I'm playing at a much lower rating than I normally do, and a lot of people bait when they're in lower ratings rather than higher ratings. So because people are baiting, more people are also shielding baits. Yeah, this scenario is awful. I try and catch a move, but this game is essentially over. Yeah. Kind of rough. Gonna throw the Shadow Ball, see if they shield. Actually, is this game over? They don't shield, so I'm able to take out their Froslass. And then, hopefully Empoleon can live a Shadow Ball. Can't live a Shadow Ball from here. Surely it can't. Yeah, no chance. But they did give me a little glimmer of hope there. Either way, on to the next game. Oh, no. Next game, we have Mystic Sparkle. So I should preface this. I haven't played in a week since Master League. Honestly, a week with... I'll talk about it later. I'm a bit rusty, long story short. So I'm going to swap in once this Lickilicky has a lot of energy, because I expect Earthquake to be running a cup with Bastion, but instead they actually are running the Shadow Ball. So not the move you want to catch on Drifblim at all. And instead, going to take a ton of damage here. I do have shield advantage, but at the same time, I'm down a Pokemon and a lot of energy. They're going to come in with Cresselia. It's a very interesting matchup. I'm going to throw the Hydro Cannon here. Deal some significant damage. Going to need some chip damage anyways to take out the Cresselia with a Shadow Ball. So I'm going to come in with the Froslass. And I'm just farming up. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm farming up. We're going to shield the Moonblast. I'm going to throw this Avalanche to try and take out the Cress. Just make sure I have enough energy for whatever comes in. Take out the Cresselia. Even shields, but with an energy advantage. This is where you want to be with Froslass. Don't want to take any of this lick damage. So we're just going to throw this Avalanche to take out the Lickilicky. This is a tough call. I was pretty sure it was just a Body Slam, but I felt like if they were bringing Lickilicky, I felt pretty safe against whatever's in the back. Actually, could have been a Shadow Ball. So good shield by me, I guess. I'm going to farm up quite a bit more, throw this Avalanche, and then we're going to see what's in the back. And hopefully Froslass can one-shot it, otherwise I'm in some serious trouble. And it's a Toxicroak. So I'm going to throw the Shadow Ball here. And I did not see this counter sneak through. So what should I not do here? Yeah, that's right. Swap into the Empoleon, instantly take 2 counters, and guess what? Now this Toxicroak's at a Mud Bomb. So, yeah. That's 100% a game throw. That's my bad, but obviously a good game to my opponent. They played well. I did not. And they deserve to win. But you know what? We shake those off. On to the next game, Toxicroak lead. This is no good at all. I swap into Froslass in the Toxicroak lead because Drifblim has the better matchup. It's just very scot-free, whereas Froslass takes only single resisted damage from counters. Drifblim takes double resisted damage from counters. Triple resisted damage from counters, double resisted damage from Mud Bomb, single resisted damage from Sludge Bomb. Froslass takes neutral damage from Mud Bomb. It's just the much better matchup for Drifblim. We see the counter swap, and this is much better for Froslass to see too. The Lickilicky, they actually let it go down, so I've taken shield and switch advantage out of the Lickilicky counter switch. Gonna be able to get to an Avalanche versus Toxicroak. An Avalanche is gonna absolutely shred if they let it through. They don't, but unfortunately for them, they didn't know that saving their Toxicroak was kind of an effort in futility. No. An exercise in futility, and they're going to reveal they're running the double lick team. Very interesting. And that should be the double ghost team, and I've lost to it the Magnezone version, but I think swapping in Froslass really allows you to deal with it a lot better, or the normal switch-ins. So Empoleon lead. This time I am the one who is benefiting from the desync, so I'm going to throw my Hydro Cannon right away. I know they can't sneak through there because they're lagging a turn. I'd love to get my move through here. But my opponent, I believe, if I remember this game, does a great job denying. Oh, no, they don't. We throw at the same time. CMP tie. That's fine. They're at 2 moves. So I'm going to shield up. My move's going to go next. See if they shield up. And if they do, time to swap to Drifblim. Catch that move. And we'll see if it's the exact same mirror team that I've talked so much about. This time they bring in the Drifblim. So potentially not the same team. If Drifblim is their best answer to Drifblim, usually you'd see a Froslass here, but Icy Wind is good enough here. I'm just going for the CMP tie. Hopefully that the Drifblim takes me out, then I'm able to farm this thing down with Froslass. So if it goes down in 6 Powder Snows, I won't take a move. If it goes down in 8, I won't have to shield. And it goes down in 6, great energy advantage for Froslass, and they just quit out. So I feel like it's reasonable to assume that that was a mirror match too. But maybe it wasn't. Either way, this team is very common. That's what I'm saying. I accidentally created the BBML. Okay, Gastrodon lead. We're going to swap into Froslass. So just like Toxicroak, we're going to swap into Froslass here because Drifblim has the better matchup. Drifblim resisting the ground moves and Body Slam is just one of the hardest counters here. In this case, I'm playing as Shadow Drapion, which is unfortunately much better than regular Drapion against Froslass. So I'm going to let that go down here. Took shield advantage already. And Empoleon hopefully can grab even more of an advantage here. Aqua Tail bait. And we'll see if they actually go for the crunch this time. Not going to shield. Regardless, I wasn't planning on shielding anyways. And because they threw the Aqua Tail bait, I'm able to get the full farm down. If not, I would have thrown a Hydro Cannon to prevent using a shield. In comes Gastrodon. Going to throw the Hydro Cannon. Could have swapped right away too, but I figured I might as well get this damage out. And go right into that Drifblim. They actually shield, which is great news. And they're staying in, which is even better news. So we'll see what they actually plan to do here. Gonna deal some significant damage to that Shadow Ball. Not gonna shield Earth Power. Maybe I should have if they're gonna stay and do that. But yeah, it's a Froslass, so not gonna be enough fast move pressure to be able to take down this Drifblim. And obviously with 2 shields remaining, Drifblim is very, very safe. And then just a matter of fast moving down this Gastrodon. En route to yet another win with this team. Yeah, if you've noticed, my losses so far with this team are severe misplays by myself so far. So that's always a good sign. Team gives you every chance at winning every game. Drapion lead, love to see it. And this one isn't even too bad for Froslass either, but they stay in. So it's a good sign. They throw with good timing as well. It's probably going to be a crunch, but can't shield the first one because you don't want to eat the debuff, unfortunately. Ah, yes, this game. So, lag. That makes sense. Anyways, I'm going to talk about, because this goes on for a while, I'm going to talk about Master League and taking a break for a little bit. I did take a little bit of a break after Master League. I had some real life stuff going on. I'm not, like, my upload schedule has been bad. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not quitting Pokemon Go. It's just, had a lot of stuff to take care of, unfortunately, with real life and application, getting a job and stuff like that. So, I am back on the grind. And this is me trying to load back into the game. But yeah, honestly, it's kind of demoralizing to see stuff like this happen. And this is kind of why it was nice to take a break in the first place, because I finally get to attack once I lose 2 Pokemon. And stuff like this has been happening in the game for years. And I really wish it was fixed. And now we just get the black screen of death, which doesn't fix itself. But yeah, once again, another self-plug. If you guys would like access to meta-analysis videos that don't always produce teams like this, but can. My Patreon link is below, and or channel memberships as well. And if you don't feel like spending money, then honestly helping me out by hitting that subscribe button, also very helpful, and it's free. So appreciate you guys. Anyways, we're gonna get right back into the battles here. I'll fast forward a little bit. I just wanted to show the state of the game is still really mad. Toxicroak lead once again. Go into the Froslass. We have that much better answer to Toxicroak in the back if we can potentially win switch, but it's bashed on switching, so we're unable to win switch here. They don't even have to throw a move, but the advantage here is with Magnezone, you have to tank the flamethrower and you barely live. In this case, I undercharge the Shadow Ball so I can come in and farm with Empoleon. I don't have to shield the flamethrowers in Empoleon. That's the big advantage with the water typing, and I do want to get to a waterfall, not the right word, Drill Peck, against this Toxicroak, so I can either force a shield or deal some serious damage and have my Drifblim with a shield advantage is much better than a Drifblim without one. So I'm going to throw the Drill Peck with an intention of getting a shield, and they actually let it through, so I'm going to swap out, get a little bit of an energy lead, and it's a Froslass. So I'm in a bit of a tough spot, but at the same time, I'm just going to go for the Icy Wind. And yeah, this is what I'm saying, nobody shields moves. That could have been a Shadow Ball. But the point is, I got some damage through, I got the debuff through, and now with 2 shields, I'm going to bring in the Empoleon and hopefully be able to take down this Froslass before it gets to a move. Sorry, gets to 3 moves. I have 2 shields. And then Toxicroak, guess what? You don't get a free counter this time. This is revenge from the Mystic Sparkle game. Going to be able to take down that Toxicroak when it only gets one counter in. All right, next game. We have the Empoleon versus Froslass matchup in the lead. This is a pretty good scenario. And they're actually staying in. Good sign for Empoleon. I go for the move sneak there, which shouldn't happen. That's desync. Like, honestly, it's super sad that that happened to them because I didn't deserve to get that move through. But it's desync. They're going to go with Bilbroll. And I don't have an answer to Bilbroll on this team. My answer is Empoleon, but I was going to get farmed down before I was able to get to the Drill Peck. So I'm going to go in with the Drifblim and throw double resisted hexes into single resisted icy winds. Not ideal situation, but with a Bilbroll at half HP, it's not too bad. I'm going to throw the next icy wind right away because you outpace 2 moves. Barely. Take out the Bilbroll. Yeah, I still can't believe Drifblim managed to take it out, but unfortunately, because I threw it right away, this Froslass is going to get a huge farm. I'm going to have to come back in with the Empoleon. And I'm glad I got some waterfalls of damage through because my plan is to let this go and then to farm down with the Froslass. And with the Froslass at like 15% HP, it's much more manageable. I will still have to shield. It has a huge energy advantage, of course, but taking an energy advantage of my own into this final matchup is definitely helpful. So I have to land a Shadow Ball here for sure. And they don't shield. This is what I'm saying. Everyone's so used to baiting in this meta. Oh, sorry, in this yellow range. That they just bait. So I don't shield there either. I take the Grass Knot. Another bait. And then I'm just trying to get my move through here and just take down that Froslass. You see my 4-finger tap technique coming out there. Yeah, that's a 4-win set, I believe. Or is that 5? 4, I think. We'll never know. We'll never know. But on to the last set of this video. We're going to see a Toxicroak lead. Lots of Toxicroak leads out there, but we've been able to flip most of them. Sorry for the notifications on this one, guys. Just downloaded a new messaging app and forgot to turn off the notifications. So this message, or this battle is going to be kind of annoying. Throw on CMP there. Froslass actually winning CMP versus Drapion is a bit surprising. Crunch doesn't quite take you out, but it almost does. And now we're in a good position with shield advantage versus Shadow Drapion. So Empoleon going to be able to deal significant damage with these fast moves here. Not going to shield. Crunch and defense drops. This is why we don't shield the first one. You're going to throw right away. So remember that time that I got baited with Aqua Tail? Well, this is the play if they don't bait. In comes Froslass. So Froslass versus Drifblim's a little bit scary here. Obviously, because these fast move damage is really starting to hurt. But at the same time, it has to respect the Shadow Ball. So I'm going to throw that. It doesn't respect it though. I'm going to throw the Shadow Ball to Toxicroak. And yeah, they just let it through. So this is what I'm saying. If yeah, honestly, baiting is a mistake most of the time, I feel like. Yeah, sorry. This is me turning off notifications. So I'm gonna speed up a little bit there. Sorry, didn't edit this very well. I was in a bit of a rush. We have Froslass into Empoleon, and unfortunately this is also my best answer to Empoleon. It's actually my best answer to every Pokemon on this team. So Empoleon's gonna have a lot of work to do, and thus I no-shield it and swap out into my Froslass. Because my opponent overcharged, this is a bad play. I really should have thrown a Hydro Cannon or something, but I realized that at this point I can one-shot with Shadow Ball. Hydro Cannon doesn't really do anything. So I'm gonna unleash the Shadow Ball here, see if they shield. They do. Yeah, and I'm not even up shields. So they throw right away too, and I shield. This is a bad shield too because they can farm down. Gonna throw a Shadow Ball, they get their move through. And once again shield it. Just kidding. I remembered the game incorrectly. Froslass is going to be able to farm down. Honestly, just as bad of a situation. Going to go into the Empoleon and just get this Hydro Cannon off. Try and get some damage out. They actually don't shield it, which puts me in a really bad spot. I try and catch, but my opponent throws with good timing, so no shot at the catch here. Drifblim comes in, and it's not going to quite be able to farm down. Yeah, if only it dealt a little bit more damage, I would actually have a decent shot at this game. But unfortunately, Froslass is not going to allow me to see what's in the back. Could have been anything. I was hoping for like a Toxicroak or something. But Cresselia lead. Entire team's pretty good against this. I stay in for a little bit. Not really sure why. Oh yeah, I try and make the catch on Drifblim. Doesn't matter, but they do get the Moonblast off. Future Sight. Wow, yeah, so interesting play. Deals a lot of damage, but at the same time, they had this good matchup, Drapion versus Drifblim, so I don't think they needed to throw the Future Sight. They're going to throw right away. A bit of a mistake, in my opinion. That's okay. For me, at least. I want to be able to get some farm off on this Drapion. I'm going to throw Hydro Cannon to either force a shield or keep a significant amount of HP on my Empoleon for this Cresselia, which looks like the case, but unfortunately it's actually Toxicroak. So luckily I had a little bit of extra energy. Going to be able to throw this Drill Peck, but I want to get out of here as fast as possible. Froslass is great versus both of these Pokemon, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to let the Mud Bomb through. It's going to do a lot less damage than a Future Sight will do, now that I know that it's revealed. They actually make a fantastic catch on a Cress here, but it might be a case of too little too late, because Froslass is still going to be able to get to this Avalanche before they're able to get to a move. Going to grab a shield, and then on the third Avalanche, Froslass actually has a cheaper move. So Grass Knot, Future Sight. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here. I could have just thrown and then taken out the Toxicroak, but instead I decide to farm all the way down and unleash the Shadow Ball onto this Toxicroak. But yeah, the better play would just have been to Avalanche, I think. Cresselia right away. But yeah, Future Sight, Grass Knot. Could be a pretty solid move set, I think, for Sinnoh Cup at least. No dark types. Okay, Drifblim lead. That's where you like to see it. Took the Hydro Cannon, but somehow it didn't register, because there's no way Empoleon should lose. Yeah. There's no way Empoleon should lose CMP to Drifblim, and they get a move through. So I don't know what's happening. I'm going to swap to my own Drifblim, which is a terrible play as well. But my only shot here is no shielding and hope they bait, which they do. So they come in with Drapion. Once again, people are throwing and then switching into Drapion. Just switch into your Drapion. Drapion's good enough against Drifblim. But yeah, these debuffed Icy Winds don't really do a whole lot. They force this Drapion to throw, though. And my Empoleon is healthy enough for sure to take some of these debuffed crunches, I think. So I'm going to come in. My Empoleon is dry, unfortunately. Yeah, the crunch does quite a bit. Even debuffed, but if I get to this move before their crunch, because they threw right away, then this Hydro Cannon will be able to force a shield or take out the Drapion, which is great. In comes Gastrodon. I throw one move, and then I swap out into this Froslass. Gastrodon, I would have loved to, of course, meet on the Drifblim, but Froslass is pretty good too. You outpace, deal a ton of damage. Just need to shield the Earth Power here. And Earth Power takes a very long time for Gastrodon to get to. And a lot of times it'll just be a Body Slam bait anyways, so they're probably going to go Body Slam into Body Slam here. Yeah, oh, this will be close. Body Slam and then one more Mud Slap have to be survived for Froslass to get to a move here. Froslass barely lives it. If your IVs are a little bit better, you'll live it for sure. And grabs the Avalanche KO on that Gastrodon. So a little bit of poor play on my part, but salvaged the win anyways. And I believe one last battle for this video. One last battle. See if we can pull out another positive set here. Actually, I think we're already positive. Drapion lead. Shadow Drapion. Love to see it. Empoleon versus Drapion is quite good. That was weird. Threw the crunch right away. Yeah, I'm sorry. For some reason I counted wrong. I thought it was Aqua Tail. And this is an Aqua Tail. So a little bit of a mistake on my part. I forgot Drapion in this cup running Aqua Tail. And they swap into Lucario, so I have to hit my Hydro Cannon button right away, lest I be farmed all the way down. In this case, I'm going to go into my Drifblim, because I went into Froslass once and I got close combated, even though they weren't at the Shadow Ball. So now I know to go into Drifblim, resist those close combats. And yeah, they're not making it to that Shadow Ball, so no need to throw a move, no need to shield. Drapion comes back in and shields an Icy Wind to get this crunch off. So I know my Froslass is in a pretty good position here if the opposing Drapions are willing to throw moves at Drifblim. And in fact, it's another Drifblim. So I say my Drifblim here specifically to debuff their last Pokemon. In this case, it's a Drifblim, so it doesn't really matter too much. But let's say it were something like a Pachirisu, that Icy Wind would be a very big help in eventually taking it out. So either way, that's the video. Hopefully this team doesn't plague your games too much if your team doesn't currently beat it. But I mean, if your team doesn't currently beat it, you've got a tough time in this meta anyways, because I've been seeing a ton of this team, and this is before I made the video, just from the combination of my meta-analysis video and then probably other people independently creating this team as well. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist here to put Empoleon and Froslass together. Ice and Water, great combo. Ghost and Steel, great combo. Drifblim kind of is just the icing on the cake here. And honestly, probably the best performer on this team. I don't love Drifblim normally, but on this team, man, is Drifblim good. Either way, appreciate all your guys' support, and thanks for watching.